Hi, friends. So today we have a challenge of not having the fonts that we need and the system that we need them in so that we can update this logo. So what's happened is I have updated my system and the system does not any longer have the fonts that I use to customize all of the logos that I work with. So what we're doing is we're going to assume that you already have your logos downloaded, or excuse me, your fonts downloaded. And because you already have those downloaded, I'm not going to teach you how to download fonts and where they might download and how to save them or anything like that. But this video is going to be specifically about how to install the fonts that you've already downloaded. If you look here, you'll see that I have missing 13 different fonts. And that is because I have multiple files in this particular document, multiple projects. So what I'm going to show you how to do is how to take and install fonts that are previously downloaded so we can update this graphic, okay? First thing you want to do is you want to open up a new File Explorer window. So here we have a new File Explorer window. What I'm going to do now is go down to the local disk and I'm going to go to Windows and I'm going to go to Fonts. Okay, voila, look, it's so simple. It's right there. There are my fonts. And so this is where you can install fonts. This is showing you all the fonts that are already in my system. And fonts show up differently than any other files that you already have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down here to where it says Windows Fonts. I'm going to add this to my quick access so that when I am updating my fonts, it will be right up here. Look right there on the left. You see it? Voila. You have it. So as a designer, I have a folder that has all my fonts that I've downloaded, some that are free, some that are commercial, so on and so forth. So I am simply going to take the fonts that the system is asking me to download, and I'm going to find them in my file, and then I'm going to drag them over to that fonts file, okay? And it's going to be a simple process. It's actually going to be really quick. Here's the first one. Alex Brush Regular. And so I found that in my downloads. Okay. She Shares Design, fonts. These are my downloaded fonts. And I am simply going to take and drag it over to this folder. Honey, that is an install right there for you. And you have the first font installed. And I'm going to repeat this process for the rest of them. Now, the rest of them may not be that easy because they may not be simply right there in the folder. But I can either scroll and find them this way, or I can do a search in this folder to find them, okay? So I'm trying to see if we'll have another opportunity that was as easy as that first opportunity. But honey, it's not looking like it. Oh, there we go. We've got one. So I'm going to take this, which is in my downloaded fonts folder, and I'm going to drag it to the system fonts. Voila. Now we have 2 out of the 13 fonts that have been changed. And you can see right here that it will then update those missing fonts. I have gone from needing 12 to now needing 11. Okay, so I just repeat this process as many times as I need to. Let's click this again and show you this is my system fonts. Those fonts that I just added are now in here. So the one was Great Vibes. Here it is. And then the other one was Alex, which is a beautiful font, by the way. Okay, you see Alex Brush Regular right there. All right, so let's go back. Here is how you go back. And I'm going to now just search my fonts file for the rest of these fonts, okay? Now, the interesting thing about fonts, sometimes a complicated thing, is that they don't actually save the way you might think that they should save using the naming system you think they should save as. So sometimes it gets a little bit complicated. So here I have a download. You see that this says Freebooter. This says FreeBSC, FreeBSCA. So sometimes it'll be a little complicated. Just make sure you take your time. As there are two different font files here, I'm going to make sure that I take and drag both of them. As I drag them now, this may not work because I have not taken them out of the zip file. You see how that didn't work for me? So what I'm going to need to do is take them from whatever file they're in, okay, which is a zip file. You see up here, it's a zip file. I'm going to take and put it into my fonts folder. Okay, I'm putting it right here in my main fonts folder so that now it is unzipped. All right, and it's already in there. But of course, I was looking for Freebooter. Now let's go back into the file and look simply for free. I'm going to change my view to list view so that I can see more of the fonts. And there you have it. Here is free. So I'm going to take those files and drag them over here to fonts. I have installed those, and then here on my system you will see that has been changed. There you go. So we'll finish with the rest of these. I have philosopher to find, and then I have playlist script, which is another one of my favorites. Okay, so I'm trying to do this and, just do it very generally so I can find it, but it's not coming up like that. I'm going to look up playlists. Very good. Playlist has a whole bunch of them. So playlist, caps, ornament, and script. And I'm going to drag these over to the fonts. And it is installing one of 3. Oh, Riesling is another beautiful one, especially for those of you who like Riesling. So Riesling is not coming up as Riesling, it's coming up as Ries. So I'm going to take that, drag it over. That's a different one. Riesling actually, nope, I'm spelling it wrong. There we go. Riesling, and I knew it because Riesling, I know how it looks, and what I was dragging over there did not look the same as Riesling, which is a very beautiful and crisp font. Priscilla is a script font. All right, so we're going to pull Priscilla over here, get her together. Nope, don't need to replace it. It's already in there. Okay, let's see if we can find this mighty situation. There we go. We got the mighty situation. And you can see that this one is a free font. So if I do my filing properly, I will put that into my free file. She Sarah's Designs, my fonts, and then put that to the free. This just helps me stay organized. There's many fonts you pay for, but I recommend getting free fonts because there are so many free and beautiful fonts out there. This is another very beautiful font, and dragging it. So if you just look and repeat this process as many times as you need to, especially when you're changing systems. When you're changing systems, if you're a designer, 9 times out of 10, you already know how to do this. But if not, if you're changing systems, or even if you're just working on some new files and you come across the fact that you can install fonts, you want to play around with it, this is the process for doing it, okay? So you can search the web for free fonts, and make sure when you search free fonts, you find things that do not require you to have a license, or if they do require you to have a license, you find something that is simply asking you to give credit to the owner for using the font, so on and so forth. And that will allow you to use fonts without being illegal. We do not want you to be out in these design streets illegal, okay? Don't be out in these business streets illegal, okay? So make sure, especially for those of you who are publishing books, who are using the fonts for other graphics, especially for commercial purposes, which means that you will make money using the fonts. Make sure that you secure a license if you need to, or that you are at least aware of the details of your licenses. And in my case, that just means filing my fonts in the proper place and making sure that for fonts that I have not paid for, fonts that are free and I hadn't paid for that reason, are just not widely used. Okay, so they're only used for the purposes that I paid for. All right, so we have installed everything except this philosopher one because she's being a little complicated. So I am going to go ahead and move on to my next step. I pray that this was something that can help you as you continue your designs. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.